Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to record this, start the other one that I have planned, and basically schedule this for upload. So I'm going to quickly explain what the hell I'm talking about while I quickly go deal with the pillagers over here. For the last year or so, things have kind of been... Well, that's a lot of pillagers. Things have been kind of weirdly good and weirdly bad at the same time. By that I mean the job I've been doing has been kind of going in a weird way. This is not my video explaining it. I'm not going to get into it. What I am going to say is I'm not dealing with that situation currently because I can't. So instead, I'm going to do something else. By advisory of others, of other people, I'm not going to go take up another job like I've been doing. I'm not going to go take up another programming job. I'm not going to do any of that. At least until this is all sorted. That's what I've been telling myself. But because I've heard nothing for the last month and a half, I keep thinking over and over again, maybe I should just plan to do something else anyway. I run a company where, I supply arcade games, usually redemption-based, like claw machines, in people's businesses, but that's something I just want to do. That's not something I do because I have to. That's something I do for fun. And watching my friends, watching my friends and other people do content again and helping them along as best I can has made me want to do it so much more than I've had in the last 2 years. I have considered on multiple different ways of doing it. I have considered multiple times to possibly, kind of jump on the whole starting again, whether it's worth it, whether it's not, whether it's a waste of time. And every time I come to the same point, I think I want to try again. Now, that's not me saying that I think it's a good idea, or that I think I know, good enough, not any of that. Or that I think, that it will work. I tried 10 years ago, I tried longer than that, and my whole thing is I got to a point recently where I was watching I was watching a bunch of content, not made by my friends entirely, but yeah, them too. But some things just don't feel right anymore, and I can't tell if it's just because everything's so short form oriented, or it's so, whatever. I don't know. What I do know is that I want to make what used to be good. I want to make videos that maybe have not so much direction as they, should. I want to make things that are about what I'm making and not about, the shit in between. Like, the first thing that I'm going to try and make on here is a Feed the Beast series like they used to be. I used to love, just flat out love Feed the Beast, Direwolf's videos on Feed the Beast and Agrarian Skies and all that. And I remember watching them constantly. And now we're at a point where, we're at a point where I wouldn't say that I absolutely could do it again, but I want to try. Like, the point is, I'm so sick and tired of just sitting here doing very little. I mean, I want to give it one more shot. I'm thinking about doing it, and it's daunting. And I guess I'm more trying to make this video to hold myself here. It's December 17th, 2025. I've been thinking about this for the last week and a half. I can give a little more context into this, but without going too far into it, to not spoil things and not to give away things that I know are not being said on purpose, because I want people who want to tell their story to be able to tell their story, kind of thing. But for those who are not aware, because I don't know how many of them were actually, like, I don't think they've been broadcast, nor do I think it's really important, but SL Eclipse is another streamer and YouTuber, and we have been dating for on 3 years. Nothing special there, per se. But we went on a cruise recently. Just us, because we needed a break and price was right. I'm not one of those people where the best way I can explain it is I'm not sitting here trying to show off. Just price was really good for what we were getting, so we took the trip. And yeah, on that cruise, I had a lot of time to think about content, because as that's her job, it's very important that we discuss what she was going to do when she came back, because for those who don't know, I help her manage her brand and keep her on track with things that need to get done. Because sometimes being a content creator means you don't always love what you have to make, and sometimes you have to have somebody tell you, it's okay, but you need to not. You need to just do what needs to be done. It sucks, but it's what needs to be done sometimes. It's no different than when you're discussing with it's no different than when you're discussing with somebody at your job, and while you don't agree with what they want you to do, you know that there's nothing you can do to really fix it. It's just kind of a part of it. Sometimes you just have to do the hard stuff, and the problem is when you're doing content creation, it's very hard not to get stuck in the, well, it's my job, I should be able to do what I want with it, and you're right, but there's also a point where it's like, you also need to be willing to understand that sometimes you just need to get it done. Anyway, I'm rambling a lot. I want to keep this under 10 minutes so that people don't think I'm just talking to talk. But the whole reason I'm doing this is to talk. It's to get as much as I can put everything out. I'm thinking, and I'm gonna schedule this once I'm done with it. There's no editing on this. I'm just gonna upload this as it is. I'm gonna schedule this to go up 12:01 New Year's Day, and I have till then to decide if I want to do this or not. I am doing this decision now before talking over with a lot of other people, because I've kind of been in my own head over this, and I want this to be a decision I make. But this does not promise anything. This isn't me saying I'm gonna do daily content. God, I can't go from nothing to daily. But if I do this, this is me saying I want to do this more. I'm gonna try my best to stream more often. I'm gonna try my best to show more things. I'm gonna try my best to do what's most fulfilling to me in this case. I have GoPros and Insta360 that I've always planned on using. I kept buying them because I love camera gear. I love microphones and things like that. Like, I love all these things, and I never really sat down and showed my potential with it all. And that's okay. But the biggest thing here that's like kind of been a big, I would say, blow to this all is, I never showed off what I could do with those things, and I've always thought about it. Like when we were on the cruise, I was recording bits and pieces to like B-roll of the cruise, like us walking. It was just really pretty at night, and it was really cool. And I had the GoPros running. That was for a different reason, but I was doing it because I thought, this is cool. And I had considered, I actually talked to Eclipse about it, about me vlogging the experience, and I failed. I'm not one of those outgoing people that want to vlog everything I do. I'm one of those people that I'm totally content sitting behind a camera and talking when it's just me, but when I'm out in public, I'm not a very open person. I don't go out of my way to talk. The main thing I'm trying to get with this is trying to almost convince myself that I shouldn't stop trying. I shouldn't walk away, that I should do this. Last year was originally going to be the last year I did the pancreatic cancer awareness charity that I had been doing for 7 years now. I believe it was 7 years. Yes. Yes, should be 7. Because I started 2018. So. And I only said that because I've noticed a mix of, losing momentum, losing inspiration, losing everything for it. I had a very close friend who was helping me for a while. Weren't able to for the last 2 years. No fault of their own. Life gets in the way. But I realized without them, it's very hard to justify continuing. So I've been avoiding the topic, and basically, I said that if we didn't hit a third of the goal, because the last couple times we haven't even hit $200 for charity, and that's really disheartening, because, everything I make for that month goes to it too, and it's still not anything substantial, which was fine. I do it like this. Anything I make during that month, from Twitch, from sales of my merch, from anything, all went there. And I have shirts and sweatshirts and merch that is exclusive for that stuff, that all profit goes there year-round. But I digress on that. We didn't even hit 200 one year, and it just broke me, because we went from hitting basically, with no other way of explaining this, we went from hitting these super, high numbers, thousands, to a couple hundred without the help of one of my friends. Made me feel like I couldn't do it. So I basically said if we didn't hit a third of the goal, which was 15 this year, that I would not be continuing going forward. And I think it was literally the last day we hit it. We had hit the $500 mark, and I said I'm doing it next year, and I'm half tempted to see if I can make it work. So, this isn't me saying, come watch me. This isn't me saying, expect this to always go this way. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not wearing my elytra. That was a waste of my time to jump that. And while some of this may have seemed like it was more of a, voiceover, I'm doing this the same way I would do everything. Talking to the camera while I play the game. No music, no nothing. This has been going on for 13 minutes, so I want to cut this off soon. My point for making this isn't that I think I deserve anything. I've been trying on and off and failing to do different forms of content creation for over a decade. Growing up as a kid watching all of these people, Captain Sparkles, the Yogscast, Brenny Beast, iPod Mail. I'm trying to think of a few other people that, I watched who did a lot of Minecraft stuff. I'm really trying. I think one of them was named Jordan Ash. I know now he does a lot of tech stuff, which still. But they were some of my inspirations, and then, you look at some of the people who made content then that are still making it now, and it's just not the same, and, sometimes I wish there was still somebody who's making just that same kind of, I wouldn't call it lazy, but that kind of, not even low effort. The best way of explaining it is, I almost wish we still had somebody who is still willing to make the almost small-scale stuff, where it still feels personable. It doesn't feel like, a corporation trying to make it, or, like a super heavily edited and super heavily, I guess, overproduced stuff. which is the problem, because that's just how the internet has changed. We all want better quality stuff, and that's totally fine. But all things considered, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm more recording this so that if I'm able to convince myself to keep trying this, then maybe it's worth me doing. But as of right now, I don't know if I can even convince myself. This all kind of stemmed, like, realistically, like, the moment of me going, yeah, I think I'm going to try this one more time, is I'm rebuilding my SMP, which some people may remember a little while ago. I think it was about 3 years ago, I had an SMP that I started doing that I had a story that I wanted to tell, and it just never happened, and I'm basically sitting down and rewriting everything for a more updated take on everything, and I've got 3 people involved, including myself, and I'm hoping to plan and get this out sooner rather than later. The sooner we get it out, the sooner I'll feel better. So we are figuring it out from there. But anyway, root of this all, TLDR, we need to talk, whatever the fuck I call this stupid video. This isn't a promise to keep doing it, but it is a promise to keep trying. And for this year at least, I'm going to try and do this again. See if I can make something of this. I will be streaming on Twitch. My Twitch will be in the description. I will have the merch of my characters, in this case Creeps and then Fred, the squid, all on, all on sale during the year. And for those who care, November is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. That's when I raise money for charity. Come along for those streams. You alright there, dog? I like how I said this wouldn't be very edited, but then my dog started, like, hyperventilating, it looked like. He's fine. He's now on my bed freaking out. Anyway, the point of what I was saying, with him just running around in the background, you probably will hear him. The point isn't to say that this isn't going to happen, but it means I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to give it another try. So, hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this horrible rant. And hopefully I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.